What is going on, gamers and gimbits, dudes and dudettes, lads and lassies? Welcome back to another horrific episode of Games and Gamers. Danger was supposed to be here. He sent me a message saying, oh yeah, I'll definitely be here. We're off in the middle of space right now. We're flying aboard the Nostromo right now. I'm not entirely sure where Danger is, though. I'm sure he's fine. I'm sure he's fine. But since it's just myself right now, we're gonna have a slight change of things. It's probably be a shorter one compared to other ones because Danger and I aren't gonna be yelling at each other and just talking with each other like we typically do. But I gotta go with our typical thing of what da media right now. Right now, I guess all I'm doing right now is Alan Wake 2 released 2 days ago. I've been playing it. Dead Space 2 and Tormented Souls pretty much. It's gonna be starting Sea of Stars here in the next probably day or so. On top of it all, there's something else. And the Five Nights at Freddy's movie. Watch the Five Nights at Freddy's movie. Good movie. I liked it. It's actually a really cool, fun movie. I've seen a lot of hate for it, which, you know what? No one likes you. I'll go on to a small tangent of it. I saw a review of it. I think it was maybe IGN that said the movie had too much plot. Like, it had too much plot to it. But this is also IGN, the people who said the Mario movie didn't have enough of a plot, I think is what the review for that was. But as I thought about it, Five Nights at Freddy's does have a kind of convoluted, insane plot. The movie does too, because it kind of follows more of the books with all of it. But at the exact same time, it's not. It's the lore hidden around it that gets built up for all the other things. So IGN, you suck. Any person who really gave this thing, because I've seen a lot of 2s out of 2 out of 5s, like 4 out of 10s for this movie. The movie's like a 6 out of 10. Realistically, it's a 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10. It's a Five Nights at Freddy's movie. Five Nights at Freddy's is a franchise built over like a bajillion freaking games. I think there's 12 games and 15 books and stuff like that. So it's not going to be everything shoved into one thing at once. That would be way too much. Otherwise, we'd have a 4-hour movie. So Five Nights at Freddy's fans like the movie. I like the movie. People who didn't like the movie just aren't Five Nights at Freddy's fans, or they just don't have the mental comprehension to understand how things work. I don't know. And this will be myself, because I'm going to be hating on stuff. But outside of that, that's kind of it. It's cold. Like Jiminy frickin' Christmas. It's 36 degrees outside? Jesus Christ! I didn't know it was that cold! Frick! Oh my god. I didn't realize it was that cold. My god. You would have thunk outside in space is only 36 degrees. That's cold. I like it a nice crisp 75 to 80 degrees. So it being so cold is absolutely bonkers, and I hate it so damn much. It's too cold. Don't go into space, people. It's too cold. Don't go into space, not because there's a lack of oxygen. Just don't go into space because it's too cold out there. But this week's episode, this bi-week? What is this? I think it's bi-weekly. We do it every 2 weeks, and I think that counts as bi-weekly. Is Alien Isolation. Alien Isolation is a game Danger wanted to do. But, unfortunately, he's not here. I just genuinely don't know where the man is. But I think wherever he is, he's fine. And that's fine. I can handle this by myself. But, Danger, I hope you listen to this. That means I get 2 games back to back. Because I have to review your game without you here. And then we got to review my game. So I have to review your game. I get 2 games back to back. So I hope... What's he going to do? Tell me no? He isn't here to tell me no. I run this show. This is my power. But, yeah. So, Danger, I hope you're listening. We're going to have 2 games back-to-back that are me picked. Next one isn't. Next one is not me picked. We're going to go into that at the end of this. But I'll have 2 games back-to-back. So, Danger, deal with it. So, Alien Isolation. Alien Isolation is a game, I believe it's made by Sega. I want to say it's made by Sega. I should have had this up. Who made Alien Isolation? It is... I was wrong. Why did I think Sega? Why did I think Sega. Oh, it's published by Sega. Okay. It's a 2014 survival horror game developed by Creative Assembly and published by Sega for PlayStation 3, PS4, Windows 360, and Xbox One. I didn't know it was on PS3. I thought that was kind of the end of the PS3 era when PS4 drops. Based on the Alien film series, it's set 15 years after the events of the original 1979 film. Oh, I didn't realize. Okay, I thought that was a little bit later than that. Okay. The technology's still doo-doo. So, Alien Isolation is a stealth-based horror game in which you are a character named Amanda Ripley, the daughter of Ellen Ripley, and you are trying to find your mother. You are, at the beginning of the game, you are met, Amanda's sitting in a room welding on something. She's an engineer, very smart lady. And you are met by a man named Samuels, and he's like, Ripley, we heard of your mother. Come with us. Actually, no. I gotta say one wrong thing. The game started off with, I believe it's her, Ripley's flight log at the end, I think the first movie? It's either the first one or the second movie. It's been a hot minute since I've actually seen it. But, yeah. 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 I think it's one of those two movies. Basically, where she's like, hey, we found something in space. Be careful. We're gonna destroy it. We have to kill this thing. So, Samuels comes in and tells, hey, Ripley, there's a ship going to Sevastopol. It's where this game mostly takes, it's where this game primarily takes place. And we have flight log of your mother. We believe this is where your mother may have gone missing. Do you want to come with us? We need another person. Ripley pulls off a hat and says, yep, let's go. I'll go with you. Let's go find my mother. And so off they go. So gameplay immediately starts as you wake up. It's first-person survival horror game. You wake up in their freezing chambers. I can't remember what it is. A cryostasis pod, the cryostasis. Wake up. I don't know the time frame of that moment to then, but you wake up there on a ship called the Torrens. You get dressed, meet your crew. You have Samuels, you have Taylor, and you have the leader, the captain Verlaine. And she's like, okay, we're going to Sevastopol. We got to find this flight recorder. It's like a big old box, probably like boombox size, I guess. Maybe half the size of a boombox. You got to go find. And so you, Samuels, and Taylor are sent to dock on the ship. She tries to get in contact with Sevastopol, doesn't hear anything of any capacity, and then she sends it, and you go on a little spacewalk or space zipline. I don't know exactly what that was. So you shoot like a little zipline across, or on like a little moped scooter thing in their spacesuits going across. And as we're halfway through, maybe a quarter of the way through, something goes kaboom on the ship, and a big piece of debris starts flying in, hits this zipline thing, breaks it, sends Taylor and Samuels off, and Ripley grabs it, and she gets pulled in and goes into the game, and boom, the game actually starts. Now, one thing I do want to say for this game is it's 2014. I believe is when it was. It's 2014. Yeah, it's a 2014 game. The game looks, aside for the egregious amount of sweat that is on every character's face, anytime a cutscene plays, anytime there is just sweat on their face, it is kind of gross. It's always sweaty. They'll be in a cold room, and you just see sweat pouring down their face. Outside of that, that's the only graphical thing I have issue-wise. The game looks really good for being a nearly 10-year-old game. And I know it's PS4 era game, so PS4 era games still look. I'm not gonna say any PS4. Actually, before I say that statement, I'm gonna think about the game Call of Cthulhu. That game looks like badass. Not badass. The game looks like bad ass. Probably one of the ugliest modern day games I've actually played. But like I said, game looks great for being 10 years old. The game is not hyper realistic. It's still I think at this point it was what one was. I want to say Last of Us was kind of the one that really started probably push forward the best graphics, or can always be good looking graphics even without it being in a cutscene. I could be wrong on that, but whenever I think of games that really started doing good looking game and world, the first one I always think of is The Last of Us. And there's probably other games out there I'm always thinking of it because they put a little more detail into the characters and the world around them outside of cutscenes. Because I'm thinking another one came out about a few years prior to PS3 game, PS3 Xbox 360 game. I'll say one of the best looking ones, Final Fantasy 13. is a still has a stuff like that. When it's cutscene, they look great, but outside of that, they talk and do stuff like that. It kind of looks trashy. And this one did not do stuff like that. I know it's a 5-year difference. I think it was 2009 when Final Fantasy 13 released. 2009, 2010, so 4 or 5 year difference. But the game still looks really, really good. That's the point I'm trying to get across. This is a very good looking game. So, after you go onto the space station, you're separated out from everybody, take off your spacesuit, and you start exploring this Sevastopol. Sevastopol is broken. It's dilapidated. It is legitimately falling apart. You start reading some of the lore, and you find out that they have been discontinued. They're no longer funded, so everything's going to slowly start falling apart in their entire ecosystem. And you can kind of see that. Places are locked down. Lights are off. People are running around for their lives, because you, flip on switches. This game's very, monotonous with some of the things they do, because you go up to early on in the game you have to turn on the generator and you have to mash a button a couple times, which mashing a button is fine, but having to mash 1 click mash 2 click mash 3 click gets a little tedious and a little bit monotonous. This game is very much, I don't know why they did it like this. I'm not even going to take a guess, but every interaction is a bit too in-depth for a lot of the stuff. It's unnecessarily in-depth. In-depth is fine, but whenever I'm on a generator, and let me pick up my PlayStation. Let's grab my Xbox. I'm grabbing some controller. I have 3 controllers at my feet. Let's grab my PS4 controller. My PS4 controller is not hooked up. If you want it, some of the things you have to interact with, you have to hold both L buttons, both triggers, and pull down with the analog sticks. Nothing wrong with it. I just think it's a little bit too much. Realistically, it's a little bit too much for this kind of game. I'm sure there was a reason why they did it, to make it really interactive. But at the same time, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, because it kind of just gets more in the way. And I'll get on the more in the way part later on in the game. And it's because it's actually a prime example of it. And that could just be a me issue, because I'm also going to say this right now. I changed this game. I played this game on hard difficulty. About maybe an hour into it, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna change it, and I changed it to the absolute hardest difficulty, and oh my god, was it a nightmare. I would have had this already recorded by now. We wouldn't be in space. We'd probably still be back on Earth or Titan. Titan? It's always Titan. Is it Titan? I don't know. I don't know the entire lore of the Alien movies like I do other games. No, it's movies. I don't know the entire lore of all the Alien stuff. I want to. It's something that's definitely on my list of things I want to learn more about, because I have the Alien trilogy. I got a buddy on YouTube, his name's Gaming Zone, who sent me the actual Alien, I think the Alien trilogy PS1 game, and I can play other Alien games. I want to get more into it. I know there's comics and stuff. I think there's comics of it. Anyway, getting way off topic. Let's see, where was I? Messing with the interactables. Like I said, interactions are a little too tedious for my personal opinion. Some people out there think it's cool. I think Danger thinks it's cool. I'm not even gonna imagine. I'm not gonna put words into his mouth and say I think this. But I feel like one of the times we talked about it, he liked the interactive of it. Let's do 2 triggers, both pull both analog sticks down, or let me pull this thing and let me hold the left trigger and then move it to the right for a maintenance jack. But I went on the topic of ship is powered down. The station's powered down. Like I said, you read notes and stuff like that. They have pretty much everything lost their funding. So best of luck. Find yourself a new job. And you look in the station. It was like a home station. Think almost like a smaller version, like the Citadel or something like that from Mass Effect. There's a doctor. There's mall. It seemed like there's malls. There's all just sorts. Actually, there was a mall area, and it's a station. It's a big, massive space station that people live on. I'm guaranteed some people were born on this station and have never been off that station. So, flip on the lights, you see people running around, letting you know there's still life on this thing. Run on a bit further. A lot of this game is just a lot of running. Story beats aren't going to happen as fervently as other games do. They still definitely happen. It's a lot. This is very, very, very long, but also not at the exact same time. It cuts through so much. Flight recorder, that's what it was. Flight recorder of our mothership, the Nostromo, has been located. We're not on the Nostromo, we're on the Normandy. My bad, people. I said we were on the Nostromo. I'm sorry. Actually, no, we're on the Nostromo too. It's cold. I don't know. It's too cold. I don't care. And there's also wind. Would you believe that there's wind out in space? I certainly wouldn't. It's like space snakes. There's snakes everywhere. But So as you go, you run through the place. You start running through. You find yourself at a locked door. You can't go past this door. Nothing you can do. You what is it? You get yourself a maintenance jack. You need to get a maintenance jack to open the door. Run on through. You find a big open room of dead bodies, and it's not like 5 or 6 dead bodies. I want to say there's like maybe 20 or 30 in the body bags, or I guess whatever. I don't know. It's not body bags, but it's like whenever they're like laid down with the tarps over them. But I feel like there were bags. It's futuristic. It's 2137 with somehow lesser technology than what we have in 2023. Makes no sense. My chair is loud today. But run on through, grab this maintenance jack, pick yourself up no, you don't pick yourself up a revolver here. Maybe you do. I'm not gonna remember all the small stuff like that. The small, oh, you pick this up, you pick that up, you pick this up, you pick that up, except for like 1 or 2 occasions, unless it's actual big important story things. I know you get yourself a revolver early on in the game. So pick this up, go on, we open the door, and as you're about to open the door, you get a gun put to your back of your head, and this man's like, hey, I'm Axel. I want to get off the station. Okay, you can join me. I got the torrents. How can I trust you? Well, you can kill me and never find out. Okay, I'll trust you. So, gets door open. You have Axel run along with you. You start finding other NPCs, letting you know. And this is how the game introduces that there are violent NPCs in this game, like humans that will attack you. And I'm gonna put a fun little story in this. I streamed it maybe about 2 years ago, and I accidentally put on the audio sensor because it has motion sensor with I think it goes with the controller. Like if you move the controller, the game lets them know, and also like audio detection, like how Thief has it, but on a much worse degree. And I was sitting there like recording, streaming, and I'm sitting there just chatting, and I say something, it doesn't click in my head because I'm whispering. This game has audio detection, and maybe my mic was set way too loud, but the audio detection was I whisper, and they're like, hey, there's something over there. But I'm whispering. You shouldn't be able to hear me from like 50 foot away. There it is. It's over there. It's small. It's like that could be an entirely me fault thing. I don't use it just because it's my one experience. So somebody out there correct me if I'm wrong. So run on through. Axel shoots at some people. You get separated. Then you get me back up with him after trying to doing this. And he's in a room and he's talked about there's something on the ship killing people. You don't have any specification on what is on this ship killing people. But he's like, hey, lass, there's stuff on the station killing people. We got to get off toot sweet. And after this little bit, run on a little bit. He's sitting there in a big open room, more sweat. Like I just have to point this out. And this one makes sense. They were running, but sweat. Why is there so much damn sweat? These people never drink water, yet they sweat like freaking hogs. So, anyway, Axel is in this room and he's like, "Hey, do you hear that? That there's something in here with us." Turns to Ripley, and as soon as he turns to Ripley, clunk. Big old spike goes through him. You hear a hiss as he gets pulled into a vent. Maybe this is where you pick up his gun. I know you pick up a gun, but I don't know if it's here. So continue on the station. You find another room, and then in this room there is a maintenance tuner. It's a little audio. It's basically like a lock. It's electronic locks. You have to do like little puzzles and stuff in order to open up locks. This is another issue that I want to say is a little convoluted. Because it's a timing based, just finding the pattern. Like it's split up the pattern. The way the lock works is you have to find yourself in a big old 360-degree square. You move it in a circle. It's a big old square. You move along the thing like an Etch-a-Sketch kind of thing. Imagine where you move the thing around the edge until you find the right specific spot. When you find said spot, you have to find it's 3 pieces. It's a long line of just pictures kind of stuck close enough together. You have to decipher, this is a square, this is a triangle, this is a circle. There's different shapes, but we'll just use that in basic thing. As the game goes on, you find out that there's multiple levels of this access tuner, level 2 and level 3 on top of it. But the puzzles of it, I think, are kind of dumb. Like, it's cool like the first time or two, but so many times it's locked by. There's another puzzle that's in there that it can do. Actually, like 2 or 3 puzzles that it can actually do. You have that puzzle where it's just, match the pieces together. You have another one where it's like a timing bar, where it has 3 bars and little line moves back and forth. You have to get it within a specific time frame of this white bar. Then gradually get smaller until it's like, say, 1/4 of an inch to 1/8 of an inch, or let's say 1/2 inch, 1/4 inch, 1/8 of an inch. And you have another one where it's like a spinning dial of just code, and then the code is like a white thing, so you have to move a dial up and down until you hit on that code. I want to say that's all there was. Now, I may be missing a code, a puzzle. But I found that kind of a lot of this game I'm gonna think is just kind of tedious. And this is like the smaller gameplay of it. The access tuner is not a massive point of the game until a little later, because you end up using it quite a bit later on in the game. But the kind of just the same puzzle each time is, I get they can't, and I understand they can't be like, oh, this is one puzzle. They have a different puzzle each time, but I feel like it should have only been used in specific situations to that degree, where it's like, okay, here's an access tuner, click, 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 or hit a sequence of buttons, and then boom, it goes. And then for like the actual harder puzzles later on in the game, like later on, you more or less have to stop the ship from like crashing into something. That may not be the situation, but let's say if it is, then you use the access tuner to actually do an actual a thing there, as opposed to opening a door. Because this game kind of makes it seem super simplistic to open a door versus the access tuner, which is the most locks are locked with the dial puzzle piece thing. Go to other things when you ever had the line thing and then the rotary dial thing. It's just a little tedious of a puzzle. All three of them are, and I get they wanted to do something different with it, but you'd think, at least for like harder puzzles out there, you'd think they would have added a little bit more difficulty to it. Because out of the three of them, the most, I guess, arduous one, because none of them are really challenging, is the reticle dial, where you have to like find all these pieces. Like it's up later on, you get 5 pieces. Find here's square, triangle, here's trapezoid, here's hexagon, here's octagon, and you got to get all those pieces hit within a time limit. I guess is the most tiresome out of all of them. Not even tiresome, that's the wrong word. Whatever word I just used is just the most challenging out of all of them, outside of the timing based one, which timing based is a 50-50. Not some people have really great timing, other people don't have timing, so that's 50-50. But I think I think most of them are going to have a hard, but I think most people would have a time with trying to get the thing to move, because the game's a little clunky at some moments. Got gameplay like on the access tuner anyway. But that's that. You get your maintenance jack, not maintenance jack. You already have your maintenance jack. You have gun, maintenance jack, and access tuner. Go in a little further, and I'm trying to remember what actually is next. Bridge for briefing. I got a thing pulled up here. My mouse is loud. Sevastopol. Let's see. Grab flares. Crawl through bag. Let's see. Just exploring abandoned space station. I mean, you do a lot of abandoned space station stuff. That's what this game pretty much is your abandoned space station. Contact the Torrens. Contact the Torrens. There we go. I want to contact the Torrens. Let's see. Do that. Go through the main door. That's where Axel is. Axel dies. Head to transit with Axel. Yeah, but he dies. But he dies. What's nightmare mode? Nightmare mode? Nightmare mode? Hell no. Okay, that's if you want to get to seeks and communications. That's right. So you can actually contact the Torrens. So go through all these rooms, find locked door, dead man holding materials. I'm going to read on through this. Access tuner. There's the access tuner. I've made it to where I need to be. Oh, there's the gun. Okay, I did. You don't pick it up. Access tuner. Grab gun. Make your way to an area that has a flight recorder. I think it's a flight recorder that allows you to contact the Torrens, because she's trying to contact the Torrens so she can say, hey, Verlaine, we got to get our shit off of here now. And go into a room, big back room, get the flight recorder, and you kind of hear the crawling around, and as you're about to leave, a cutscene happens, to which the big bad xenomorph pops down. Yeah. And this is where, at this point, this is where I realized, you know what, I want to change this game to the hard difficulty. And was it nightmare mode? I don't think it was nightmare mode. I want to say it was just hard mode, because I don't remember beating it on nightmare mode. I don't even remember seeing nightmare mode. I think it was like you had novice, easy, normal, and hard. I beat it on hard. I didn't hop into the hardest difficulty. God, I don't want to hop into the hardest difficulty. So anyway, let's see. Can't disable the alien. Cower in fear as it enters the rooms and leaves on the left. Make your way to the stairwell and get your butt out of there. Why is it telling you that this? Yes, I know. In nightmare mode, you explore with with broken motion tracker, no health bar or ammo counter. Oh, and all maps offline. God. So, my God, I'm trying to think. It's just kind of a lot of this game is just make your way from point A to point B. After that, make your way to comms control because you're still trying to get in touch with the Taurens. And then you are greeted by the Working Joe. Working Joes are kind of creepy thing. For people out there who've ever seen the movie I, Robot, think of the I, Robot with like a leather face kind of on it. Like a plastic rubbery leather face, like face covering it. So going down, you end up finding yourself a motion tracker. A motion tracker is your best friend in this game because it'll beep if something moves within like a specific radius. I'm not entirely sure what the actual radius of the game is, but if it beeps, something moves, it'll beep and let you know. And it'll always have like a little dot, and however many dots you need, it'll let you know, hey, there's this many things, and it'll let you know how close it gets to your location. This thing is your absolute best friend because this is a stealth game. I think after this, you pick it up, go walking through some more of the vents, and you see that one of the Working Joes kills a man, which I don't like. I don't like the Working Joes. They are some ugly things, and as far as I know, no, I think I do know. I think I do know why. Never mind. So anyway, you see robot kill man and gain access to elevator, and you continue going on. One thing in this game is you have like little areas, like almost computer looking things you can pick up that upgrade your map, which is really good because it's a massive game. For as small as an area as it actually plays in, it's a really big game. It's fairly expansive. Like, I'm thinking, if I say massive, I'm not thinking like absolutely massive game, but it's an expansive game because it's small areas for the most part, but it's a lot of small areas that make it massive. It's like Silent Hill. Silent Hill is a game that's like that. It's a lot of small areas added together that really make it a big game. That's how this one kind of plays. Let's see. Pick up map. Danger, it's supposed to be doing this. Danger, this one's going to be an awful episode. Just because of you, wherever it is that you are. So, after a little while, you end up making your way to the comms room and starting to get contact with everybody. So, after the cutscene happens, Amanda contacts Samuels, and Samuel's like, hey, Ripley, Taylor's been hurt. We got to get her medicine, but we cannot move her. And come down to here where we are. So Amanda makes her way down to them. You see that she's hurt. She got hurt in the way down. Blood, all while avoiding the Working Joes. Working Joes are really annoying because they're very, very tanky. Like last night I was playing Alien Wake. God. Alan Wake 2, like I was talking about it, and I take on the first boss, Nightingale. Nightingale was probably one of the tankiest enemies I've ever actually fought in a game. And these guys, now that I think about it, I'm kind of reminded, I can see there's a comparison of it, because it takes, like, I think a full clip of a revolver, and you don't get a whole bunch of ammo in this game. But you pick up a whole clip of the revolver ammo to take down a Working Joe, maybe, on, like, a normal mode. I want to say it maybe took me 8 or 9, which is like a clip and a half, or a round, or I guess a wheel and a half. It's a revolver, so it's like fast action. I'm not entirely sure what that is. I'll just say clip for it. But yeah, they're tough. If you're trying to hit them with a maintenance jack, they just catch it. You can stun them with a stun baton, which you don't get until a little bit later. And this game also has crafting materials to it too. These crafting materials let you make flashbangs, EMP bombs, sound makers, which basically just draw noise to it, pipe bombs, Molotovs, and it's one of those as you find it, you can pick it up, and then you just magically know how to make it. Side tangent. Way side tangent. I want to bitch about this. I'm gonna absolutely bitch about this in Alan Wake 2 while I'm thinking about it. Way off topic. But one of the main characters, Saga, is a rip-off Sherlock Holmes. It's just more annoying because early on in the game, like I'm within the first like hour and a half of the game, she's trying to deduce what's happened. Like she's talking to these two people. Murder happens. Spoilers. But a murder happens, and she's trying to talk to these two people to figure out what they know, and they give no inkling of anything except, oh, we may have found something, but they don't actually say we found something. She uses her supposed detective skills to be like, you know what? They found a necklace. It's a necklace with 2 triangles, like stuck on top of each, like one stuck on top of the other to make a tree-looking shape. Yeah, that's exactly what they found. It makes perfect sense as to why that would be found, why they would find that. And I want to bitch about it because it pisses me off. It makes not a lick of sense. And she's like, I'm going to think about it. They found a necklace. This necklace was hidden underneath the mud. This mud was buried underneath exactly 44 inches of water. After they saw this man drop it, while they were doing this, I had to get it out of my system. Games with stupid logic really bother me in every capacity. So, back to the game of Alien Isolation. You make your way to the PsyMed Tower, and you find Samuels and Taylor. You say, hey, we need to get her healed, and then you start looking around for the medical facility. And the medical facility is kind of where you really have your first interaction with the, if I remember right, the alien. Yeah. You find a man named Dr. Coleman. Dr. Coleman says, oh, I'll definitely help you. You just got to do one thing for me. Help him out getting a... I can't remember specifically what it is. I think it's supplies. I think he needs his own medical supplies. So you help him out. After you help him out, he's like, yeah, I'm not going to help you. And leaves you to die. He gets eaten by said alien. And then you have to find your way to another part of the area to where you have to find the actual supplies by a, what's her name? Doctor. I don't remember her name. Doctor. But you have to get medical supplies in this area. And this is like the first real area you deal with the alien. And the alien works. I found this out earlier this year, actually. I never knew this. But our alien friend here, the Xenomorph, has 2 AI to him. He has one AI that's supposed to know where you are at all times, and another AI that never knows where you are. So if you stand still long enough, those AIs eventually, like I think the way the AI works is AI knows, oh, she's there, and communicates with other ones saying, hey, they gotta be there. You go look in that area, oh, no, they're not there, and it just eventually winds down. So if you sit still long enough, you will die, which is really cool. I mean, I know if you sit still long enough, you eventually die, but the fact of the 2 AI is really cool. And this is the first game that I know of that has this. There's probably other games out there that utilize 2 AI in like a hunting thing, or just 2 AI in general. But the fact that it is 2, and also it's an adaptive AI. We'll get into the adaptive AI aspects later on. So anyway, make your way through, find yourself a Lingard. That's her name, not Lingard. Morley. Or is it Lingard? It's Dr. Morley. Lingard's the doctor that screws you over. Yeah. So, Dr. Morley, you want to find her because she has the medical supplies, has all the things you need. Go hunting on through the area. A lot of this, unless we're talking story beats, it's really hard to just talk about. It's like when we did Plague Tale and Resident Evil. Is the game relies a lot... How long... Okay, I'm actually really going to look up. I'm curious of something. Let's... Oh, I'm getting a phone call. Alright, I apologize for that quick little inconvenience that literally didn't affect any of you, but it affected me for about 3 hours. But I was talking about how long the game is, cutscene-wise. Game only has about a little less than 2 hours of cutscene. It's like an hour and 50-ish minutes of cutscene. And for the fact that this is like, I want to say it took me about 15 hours to beat. I think I played for a long time. I don't know how long specifically I played, but I want to say 15 to 16, maybe 17 hours. Let's put it at 16 hours just to kind of meet the median of all that. The game's not a super long game, so whenever I talk about like, if I go explaining, it's like I was saying with Plague Tale and Resident Evil, unless we hit big story beat moments, I'm gonna have a hard time actually going into all the true detail of stuff, because you do a lot, excuse me, a lot of walking around, hiding and sneaking, picking up objects, doing kind of minuscule puzzles here and there, or just grabbing something like, oh no, key card, let me go find a key card. This game has a lot of going around grabbing key cards in order to do stuff. Let me make sure I'm looking, like, I have a whole thing pulled up. Yeah, there's the Coleman. I also had the wrong name. It was Dr. Lingard, you find. So after that, alien is still lurking. Okay, next area you go to is the archive logs. Yeah, archive logs allow you to do some rewire, hear Dr. Lingard, because she's basically just kind of saying like last bit before everything happened, because I think she worked with the one who had the alien, the chest burster inside of her, got the face hugger. But you also find out a man named Marlowe brought stuff onto the station, I believe is what was here. It's been a minute, so I can't remember specifically the entire dialogue, and I know what I just said does happen. I just don't know if it happens here or a little bit later. So, find your trauma kit as you go through all this exploration part. Still running from the alien for a very long time. That's really all it is. Like I said, a lot of this game is just running through. After you make your way for a little while of hiding and hiking your way on through, you make your way to a new room where there's a cutscene. Alien drops on down in a cool fashion to give you a good full-on view of the alien. Because earlier in the game, whenever you, like the earlier 2 times in the game, whenever the alien dropped down the first time, you hid underneath a desk and you just saw its tail kind of whip around. I'm going to make extra complaint about that because it bothers me. It has a very, very long tail. Like a very exceedingly long tail. And it flops on down right around her. If it flopped around her, that would be one thing. But this long tail somehow hits and flops underneath her. Not a little bit, but like maybe a solid foot or so. Just kind of plops on down underneath. And that bothers me. For people who don't know, stupid things. I play video games. Don't get me wrong. But I like games that have a little bit of realism to it. In some degree. It's like the Alan Wake thing I just bitched about. It makes no sense. This here, the alien tail, it should have hit her knee. Had she dropped her legs flat and hit that and she did not move, and you just feel it slide across your leg, that would be one thing. I don't know if I don't know if the alien would realize that or not, but the fact that this tail that is long just plops underneath bothers me. So, go into this area, look at the alien, it's about to kill you, boom, explosion happens, and that is the end, well, that's not end of chapter. You have to make your way out of a, it is pretty much end of chapter. But thing explodes, you have to make your way out of a burning area, which we're going to come back to later. Now, Mission 7. I'm doing this on this guide pretty much, kind of help me go through the Seeds and Synthetics. Trying to figure out, is this where you're trying to make your way back to them? I want to say this is where you make your way back to them. Yeah, alien hunts other people. Yeah. So, and this was the Crouch and Seek into the Vent. Like I said, a lot of these chapters are just kind of small, tedious things that really don't do much. Like right now, is just you're trying to find your trauma kit. You got your trauma kit. You're trying to get back to the your crew, Samuels and Taylor, all while hiding, running from this alien. Do access tuner stuff like all that while hunting around. Make your way below. Why? Oh, I know why. It explodes area. You are trying to get back, and where you go to, the main path of the alien caught you off guard is explodes, so you can't go through this. You have to find another route. Take Seeks and Synthetics to where you need to be, doing puzzles, all sorts of stuff like that. And whenever you finally make it back after all this exploring, you see other human beings. Marshall Waits was talked about before. He was like a big man on the like kind of running everything up there. He's like big head honcho pretty much. He has Samuels, has Taylor, and you take them off into the somewhere. Can't remember. You got transit control stuff. You take it on a transit going to somewhere like the bureau area, like the main bureau area. So this one is you meet up with them, see which direction to go next. And is this the one where you talk about the alien? Like, there's one of the chapters that you actually have to go to trap the alien. Because they're trying to figure out how to get rid of said alien on the thing. No, this isn't it. This is the next one. Make your way to Solomon Tower. Yeah, Colonial Marshal Bureau. So yeah, this whole one, I was wrong on this. It's later on. This whole chapter, literally Mission 7, or is this 8? Mission 8 is legitimately, hey, go on this tram, kill some people, find us here. Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much all this chapter is. I'm not seeing a whole bunch of story beats. It's just like you pick up a gas torch comes in handy. Can see and human enemies. Yeah, then you find Solomon Towers. Like some of these chapters really don't do much. Like this one here is legitimately get from point A to point B, which is a lot of what these chapters are. Even if it's a convoluted, get to point A, circle around point B for a while, you hit point C, then you go back to point A. That's fine. But this one literally just seems to be a meet up with them, get on tram, meet us at the bureau. which is kind of all there is. It's all it really seems like there is. Follow the path, reach an elevator, access by breaking off, enter the elevator. Ignore the banging. Yeah, that's pretty much it. This whole mission is making it way to the bureau and getting the gas torch, which you will lose. You may lose, but you will use on later missions. Now mission 9. Is mission 9 what I'm thinking it is? Yeah. Yeah, it's the beacon. Okay, so you heard talk about Marlowe bringing this thing aboard the ship. This alien aboard the ship. We know at this point he's like the big reason that everything's happened on Alien Isolation to the degree that it is right now, of the xenomorph being in charge of the station. So you see that Officer Marlowe, he had a crew, went to, I want to say it was Jupiter. It's one of Jupiter's moons. I think it was Jupiter. Planetoid, I think, around Jupiter. It's some planetoid, I know that. I know Jupiter is a big thing in this game, because you're orbiting outside of Jupiter. So you talk to the Marlowe. You talk to Marshall waits, and he says you can go talk to Marlowe yourself, and Marlowe will start talking about the mission that he was on. So his mission is a fun one. It's a flashback one, and I really like this area of the mission, like this area of the game, because the aesthetic of it is really cool. I don't talk about it, but I like the movie Prometheus. Means nothing right now, but Prometheus is like, if I remember right, is a prequel to all the Alien movies, and it kind of shows this here. It also reminds me of the game Scorn, looking at it. I know this game came out a lot like prior, but still. So this mission is you just kind of walk on through this planet, hearing Morley talk with his crew about what they're doing. I can't remember specifically what they are doing, but it's just kind of exploring this planetoid. After a while, they find themselves in a derelict station kind of thing. Oh, I remember right, because they found the traces of the Nostromo. They found basically flight recorder stuff. I'm trying to get the flight recorder so they could sell it for a pretty penny. That's what they were trying to do. And so they go to the thing, they end up turning off the Nostromo and finding the distress signal of it, and finding themselves in big open area that has weird looking man gun thing sitting in the middle. Hopefully I'll remember to put a picture up. Of big man gun thingy sitting in the middle. I'm probably not saying it right, but it's big man gun thingy. That's what it looks like. So, anyway, after that, you find there's a hole. You and your crew hop on one of the, like a pulley system thing, and hop on down to explore what's down there. You see egg-looking things everywhere. These are the facehugger eggs. One of the characters gets, the female character gets hit by the facehugger, and ending the chapter, bringing you back to main world. Follow the Marshal, and this is this chapter. Okay, so after that, you come back to the main area, and you hear Marshall's like, okay, we need to have a plan to get rid of this alien. This thing is an absolute menace. So how do we get rid of it? We need to trap it. And I think it's just all it is. I can't remember if there's anything outside of that, but you need to trap it. So he gives you a flamethrower and tells you where you need to go. You need to go close off 3 generators to get like not generators. They look like generators, but you need to get go to 3 door controls and latch them to close it off so you can get the alien trapped. So that's kind of what's next. Is you get your flamethrower, go to another area, and you start doing that. There's an explosion. Yep, that's it. Explosion, closing, maps. Is that it? Is that literally it after all this? Use maintenance area with poisonous gas. Use rewire, deactivate gas, dangerous gas, noisemaker. I don't think I ever picked that up, actually. No, it is. Walk back of the room, into the vent. I don't know what this is. I think this is just more of the closing thing. Yeah, it is. So pretty much this whole mission is you want to get it all closed off and take care of it. An alien. This is where I'm going to talk about the adaptive AI, at least in brief, because I'm going to talk about it later too. So you get yourself a flamethrower. Right now, this flamethrower is the only thing you have that can combat against the alien. If alien gets close, you hit it with flamethrower, it'll run away from you. If you use the flamethrower too much, the alien will adapt. Which I actually did play around with this, which is another reason I had such a nightmare later on in the game. But the alien will, like, essentially, you shoot it with fire, it will step backwards. It'll back up out of the flame till you are done shooting it and then kill you. And it'll do this more and more as the game goes on, because I started doing this later on in the game where I got a little bit annoyed with the game. So I walked around with flamethrower. Alien would get in front of me, beep, and I'd shoot flames at it. And the thing would get hit and run off. Then it started standing back, waiting. I saw it standing behind the flames. Okay, I charged it, beep, shoot it with more flame. Flame eat up a lot of flame, so I was very careful with my flames when possible. Still went through a lot of flame, but was very careful and always had at least enough. Until one time. There was one time later on I didn't. I managed to... I didn't have enough to deal with the aliens, so I had to come up with a whole bunch of other stuff. Luckily, safety was legitimately like 10 seconds away whenever I realized it. So... adaptive AI, fun, because everything you do, the alien will eventually learn from, like noisemakers. You throw a noisemaker, eventually, let's say if you're in an area, throw noisemakers in opposite directions, the alien will eventually figure out, okay, you're not here, let's check the other direction of where it came from, and it'll hunt you there from there. Let's see here. Vents, closing off. This whole chapter is legitimately just close off. After you get everything closed off, you have a man named Ricardo. Ricardo is more or less Ripley's best friend in this, because he said, I don't want Ripley to die, and leaves and opens something back up so she can escape, allowing the alien out. After that, you make your way to like a like an emergency air vent, not air vent, a emergency like exit thing, airlock, stuff like that. So you want to and you decide you're going to get rid of the alien and just launch him into space. So go to this big old area. This is your next thing you're going to do. Get alien trapped in this whole thing. After a while, you get everything closed off, ready to go. You want to get it trapped into, this thing so you can send this chunk of it off. Think of it like a train car. This isn't a train car that you can just go into a specific part. Cut off and send it off flying into space, which is what they do. Even though waits during all this as Ripley's shutting off everything, as she hits the last button and she's about to escape, Waits is like, hey, sorry Ripley, no hard feelings, pretty much, and closes off her escape, meaning that she now has to make her own way back, because she is going to die. If not, because Waits is trying to cut her off too, kill both of them, two birds, one stone kind of thing, but also trying to get rid of the alien to save everybody. Makes sense. Trolley problem. But it's a dick move. Waits. So, little bit of thing here and there. Wait for the airlock to open. You make your way out. Send the alien shooting off into space. Make your way back onto the space station. And then, yeah, alien out. Run, knock the alien out. Throw on a suit and get launched into space. Yep. Mission 11. Yeah. Alien's gone for a while. Yeah, okay. So this next part is a more of a nuisance part. I get nuisance is the wrong word. I get annoyed at some things easily, and that's where some of my complaints come from. Not all of them. This one I'm not going to hark the game itself for. I'm not going to dock at any points for what I'm going to say on this part. But it's easy in some areas to kind of get turned around because it's a very big map. And it'll always have a certain thing. It's like, hey, you need to go here, which makes a lot of sense. But at the same time, if you go based on the map will not tell you where you need to actually go. Let's say if there's 5 maps. It's 5 maps layered on top of each other. And it'll have one map, let's go degree-wise. It's 38 degrees north, 45 degrees west. So let's say like that, it intersects at that point. It'll always be marked at that one point on the map on every single map. And I do not care for that. If it wasn't on a specific floor, I wish it would be like, hey, it's not here, and not even show anything on the map to try and help save some players a little bit of sanity. So, go outside of there, you make your way to, I think this is the mall area. You get shot at by some dudes, activate the little robot to take you in because they have a specific thing closed down because they have power shut off. You follow a little sweeper bot to a little maintenance area. Maintenance area lets you go into the big area, to which the working Joes start attacking everybody. It's like a rebellion of working Joes. You have to run from them, hide from them, kill them if necessary. I killed them all. I found a shotgun a little bit prior, so shotgun did really well on them. And then you make your way back to the main area, the bureau area. Inside bureau area, wanted to deal with Waits. Say, Waits, you're a dick. You're an asshole, Waits. Dick. And that's all that she wants to do is call him out. But goes to the station. Everything's been killed by the working Joes, except for, what do you know, Ricardo and Samuels and Taylor. I believe Taylor survived. I don't remember Taylor. Maybe Taylor did die. Who knows? But anyway, you now know that Samuels went off to try and figure out what's going on, so you follow Samuel's suit into Mission 12. And Mission 12 is synthetic solution, where you have to go find Samuels as he's trying to contact Apollo. 1, to get everything shut down and get the working Joe shut down because they're a threat, and 2, to say, hey, we need off this ship. The big bad threat is gone. So, go on through. Like I said, it's a lot of just hunting here and there. Like, just an absolute lot of... Who is messaging me? I'm busy. So it's just a lot of going on through. You make your way down to, like, the lower parts of the ship. Find Samuels, and Samuels like, hey, Ripley, I gotta do this. I'm synthetic. We're gonna save everybody. Yeah, it really sucks in some of these games. 1, I'm trying to remember every detail of the area we're going to. But 2, it's just, here's a room. There's use access terminal. Oh, there's a computer. You look at a log. You see Samuels. Okay, you do see Samuels beat the crap out of one of the working Joes, which is actually really fun to see. Then you have room full of androids. Sit there and fight them off. You do fight them off. I think you're supposed to. I fought them off. I had a whole bunch of EMP bombs ready to go, and I just nuked them. Yeah, kill them. Kill them. Molotov's dead. Samuels is downstairs doing stuff. Samuels hops into almost like a CAT scan machine trying to get in contact with Apollo. And he basically says, hey, this isn't going to work. I need you to shut this off so I can get out of here. To where, and then Ripley has to go flip off machines in sequential order in order to save Samuels. He says, like, I don't know. She's like, I don't know what to pick. Well, follow the colors. I'll tell you what to pick. And so here's red one, here's yellow one. Okay, everything turns red. Red light comes on. Everything looks red anymore. And you also, they take away your flashlight at this point. That part really bothered me. You have your flashlight early on in the game. Axel gives you a flashlight. You have batteries and replace batteries in it, like in Outlast. But this game always gives you access to your flashlight, except for here. I do not know why. I mean, I know why from a gameplay point that they didn't want you to follow the thing, because he's like, follow the red wire, follow the red wire, follow the blue wire, follow the green wire, the green wire. And that's kind of his whole thing right there. So the reason they do that is it's kind of become more a nuisance of the game, just more of an annoyance, which is kind of a big issue I have with this game, but I will get into that later on. So anyway, follow the transmitters, take down all these things, save Samuels, even though Samuels like, hey, he's gonna die. He uses his own synthetic life to take himself away. He's synthetic. So he's robot. He uses his own life to take it. But he gives you the ability to contact Apollo. So next mission, mission 13, consultation. Trying to get contact with Apollo, Torrens, somebody. So make your way into this next chapter. A lot of just running around, avoiding working Joes, because that's pretty much all you deal with at this point. There's a lot of working Joes and humans from time to time. Is this where I think it is? Yeah, it is. Yeah, so this is one where you're literally trying to get in contact with Apollo to ask for either help or get the working Joe shut down. It's one of those two things, and I'm not saying it's one of those two things. This is one of the two things they want to happen: get the working Joe shut down, or at least stop killing people, and then after that is get help, because they're stranded until they get contact with the Torrens, because there's an alien thing on this ship. This is also the chapter you learn that it's, at least from what I remember, it's insinuated that they know the aliens on there. The working Joes are meant to kill all life and not the xenomorph, because then they would lose valuable information on the xenomorph. It's a new species. It's a species they don't know a whole lot about, so they want to do this so they can figure out what's going on with it. Which Kind of sucks that they're literally just going to let these robots kill everything so they can be, I mean, it's government stuff. So make your way into the Apollo heart to where you try and contact Apollo. Again, it's more or less like, yeah, no, this is it. We know aliens there. We want all life dead. Working Joes are going to work on that. So then you can't do squat about that. Mission 14, the descent, to where you go even further beyond into the space station. This is a big, like I said earlier, it's a massive space station. So make your way further into the space station. You're slowly going downward the whole time. Come across a big old room. You got to do a puzzle. Make your way into an air vent. Keep going further down. Also, I want to talk about this. This game does not have a variety of enemies. It has, let's see, humans, working Joes, and the xenomorph. Then you have like super working Joes, which, oh my god, those things were nightmares. Like, frick. I'm alone. Fuck! They were nightmares. They wore like orange, like not hazmat suits, like fire protection suits. So they're like, oh, because if you throw a Molotov at them, they're like, we are able to survive up to 1250 degrees. Okay, fuck you for one. Then EMP mine or stun baton. We are not affected by energy surges like this. You need to hit us with higher things. Okay, fuck you. Can I shoot you? You can, but please don't. Oh, also, you lose your weapons at this point. I forgot about this. Whenever you go into, at the beginning of chapter 13, you have to go through a metal detector, and you have to give up your guns. Your gun, your shotgun, your pistol, your flamethrower, leaving you defenseless. So this is an actual stealth-oriented thing. Chapter 13 is, chapter 14 is, because right now you don't have any weapons. Until chapter 14. After you do your stuff, lift up a car. That was a loud car, speaking of. After you pick up the car, make your way down a little further, you find yourself a bolt gun. And looking at this thing looks so jerry-rigged it doesn't even look funny. But you have yourself a weapon to take some androids down, and it's very handy. Continue going on, you pick up your shotgun, you pick up your pistol, as you make your way further into the ship. Now, this next part of the game is really cool looking. Like, all of it looks really cool. It reminds me of a, like, energy... I'm trying to think of a game. I'm trying to remember the game. Like, my thought was, like, Mass Effect at the end of Mass Effect 3, like, aesthetically-wise. Not a little lower, but, like, the big pulsing and all that reminds me of that mixed with Final Fantasy X and the Thunder Plains. So, kill androids, then you go further down. And as you make your way further down, because right now you're trying to blow the reactors... you realize that the xenomorph that's been on the ship isn't the only xenomorph on the ship. You make your way into a nest. This nest is grotesque. You see people that were once missing, like, merged into the walls, into the alien goo matter gunk stuff. And yeah, you grab a flamethrower down there and more or less are trying to turn on generators, not generators, like battery power modulators, stuff like that, so you can overload the cores and blow it all up. This area right here is terrifying. It's a different kind of terrifying, because the whole game you have your motion tracker, and the motion tracker will be like, oh yeah, there's an enemy here, there's an enemy here, there's an enemy there, if it's within range. The motion tracker down in this nest will not work. The motion tracker, what it does is you turn it on, it's fuzzy, and then it's just beeping, like beep, 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 like you're surrounded. And it's letting you know, yeah, you're surrounded. Good luck. And there's also like 2 or 3 aliens. I want to say there's 2 of them at least that you deal with in this area that chase you down. And this is also where I kind of got a bit annoyed and I started bull rushing these aliens whenever I was able to. Like I said, I'll talk about that here. I'm going to talk more about the alien stuff here whenever I actually get to the end of the game, because I have some good things to talk about and I have some bad things to talk about when it comes down to the game. And the alien is honestly one of the positives of it, obviously, but then at the same time is also a negative of it. But like I'll get into that later on, and I think my reasoning is fair. Some people out there may not agree, but I think my reasoning is at least fair. So, get it all ready to go. Go up the stairs. Set it all off after destroying some more of the super working Joes. And as it all starts surging, you see some aliens crawl their way up as the hive is getting destroyed. You blow up the hive, but now there's like 3 or 4 aliens lurking on the station instead of the supposed one that there was. Chapter 15. We're also reaching the end of the game. So, Chapter 15, The Message. This is the one where plasma torch, get yourself another upgrade. This is where you and the alien had the explosion where you had to climb up the ladder with the alien earlier on in like Chapter 7 or 8. But the message is there's a space station not far. There's a space station thing not far from Sevastopol that they get in contact with. So Ripley manages to get into her little ambulance station, like flying ambulance pod shuttle thingy, space pod pretty much, a safe pod, flies over to the ship, and you hear Marlowe is in there. Oh, it's Anisadora. That's what it is, the Anisadora. Make your way in. Turn the power, get a power back on, and you hear Marlowe start talking like, I didn't mean to bring this thing on here. As there's like his face huggers in there, so one is letting you know this place is still infested. So, yeah, let's see. Technician report. Get the ship ready to go. No, I remember what it is. You're trying to get you're trying to destroy the Sevastopol. And he uses this space station to do it. So Marlowe is talking about a message because there's a special message in there contained for Amanda herself, from Ellen Ripley, and how she destroyed the Nostromo in order to take care of the alien. Marlowe is like, hey, I agree with this. We need to kill everybody. And Taylor is alive. I forgot about her. Marlowe had tricked her because she works for like Wayland Yutani or something like that, like an actual like undercover thing to capture the alien. So Marlowe tricks her to take her to off space station. So you find him at the core. Marlowe has Taylor get the core ready to explode. As he's sitting there, evil villain monologuing, as Taylor's kind of done some stuff. She comes up, whacks him with a wrench, presumably killing him, if not just knocking him out. And the thing starts going haywire. She dies. I don't know why. This is another part that bothered me. She's sitting there, everything's kind of going and she's watching it happen. I hate people, whatever media, that whenever they see something awful, terrible, no good, very bad happening, is as opposed to trying to get away from it, they just stare at it. They'll stare at it and wait for it to kill him. She could have got her way. I think she could have saved herself here. If not, she could have at least had a fighting chance. As this pulse engine is sitting there just vibrating, just zoop, 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 bam, kills her. But this whole space station is about to explode. The Anisadora is going to explode. As it's exploding, you make your way off to the ship. And yeah, fly back to Sevastopol. Ugh. Chapter 16. Transmission. Now, back on Sevastopol, you get in contact with the Carter. Your last hope you want to use. So, yeah, okay. You want to get back to the Torrens. There's a broadcast sent out by Verlaine saying, hey, we're still outside. Let us know what the fuck's going on. We'll save what we can. And one thing in this chapter kind of irks me. It could just be me, but it irks me because civilians in this chapter managed to finally get guns. Out of the freaking blue, they put on riot gear, helmets, and they get guns out of the blue, and they look ready for war. Makes no sense because it says in the thing it's security, but that's not true. We would have seen security prior. Now they're trying to get off the ship. That's all they're trying to do. So this chapter is more or less telling Torrens, Verlaine, hey, yes, we're still here. Get us the hell off this ship. But you gotta go to like a big open transmission room, like get docks clamped and all that, so that you can actually get off. It's an escape situation. Is that all that is this chapter? Is just you want to get off the space station? Yeah. Go outside, do some docking. I do like the spacewalks in this game. The spacewalks are very fun because you'll have like 2 or 3 through the entire game, and it's really fun to kind of go outside and just walk in space. But yeah, get it all ready to go, clamped on. And you're talking with Ricardo, and he's kind of saying, hey, you need to go here, go here, go here. We'll get off the space station together. That's the whole thing, is he's telling her, you will get off the space station with me. And as he's talking to her, transmission randomly cuts off, walk in as all this is going on. You don't hear from him for a while. And then whenever you finally make it to where he is, you see that he has been attacked by a facehugger. And that's really sad, because Ricardo is your friend, and now you can't go save him. But you gotta get out of there, so everybody's dead. And make your way to an elevator, getting ready for the end. Chapter 17. Desolation. It should be isolation. But, let's see. Yeah, this is where you want to find a way for the Torrens to dock. This is where you do all the clamping and stuff, getting it ready in like an emergency thing. Facehuggers. You do run into facehuggers. They're very annoying little things. Because you hear them. This game is very big about audio cues. Like, you know when the alien either jumps into a vent or leaves from said vent. If you know with a facehugger, it'll come at you because you hear a whee as it comes near you, or as it spawned into the game, pretty much. But this whole chapter is legitimately just trying to make sure the Torrens is able to get docked. And some of these chapters get drug out really long. Like, unnecessarily long. Ah, here's the chapter. Okay. This right here is where I really had annoyance with the alien. So I'm going to kind of have one of my big gripes about the game right now. Is this game relies a lot on coincidence. And I'll talk about it more more detail when I go to the final overall review. But coincidence is a big thing in this game. And it gets very, very noticeable very early on. 2, the alien is always inconvenient. Yes, I know. Inconvenient is what the game's supposed to be. The alien will show up at the exact wrong time when you don't need it to show up. That's kind of... I know that's the point. You got to be able to battle it. But I may have the footage saved of it whenever I was playing it. If I do, I'll put it up on screen. But I made it to an area in this place of it. You have to go and make yourself in like a weird J-shaped room to go open up another door. You open up in the thing, get it all ready to go. You see alien kind of charge at you. You see it through glass. It gets ready to run around. You shoot it, kill it. No, not kill it. You scare it off, then it runs off. Make your way over. You're about to open the door, and as soon as you open the door, oopsie, power shuts off. As soon as you're there, power shuts off. So you got to make your way back to the room you were just at. And this is where I had an issue in here. So I would make my way to room with said generator that we looked at earlier. You look at generator earlier and it says generator online. So no reason to mess with the generator. But you make your way back to the generator, which is powered off. First 2 times I got there, as soon as there's no alien in sight, so I was like, okay, I'm going to do this quick, because it's just quick mash, like 15 times and good to go. But the moment I got onto the thing, the alien dropped down. So the 3rd time, maybe 4th time, I died here a couple times just because I ran out of flamethrower fuel, because I was battling flamethrower fuel and aliens. But as I would sit there and wait, I had the motion tracker up, ready, waiting I had time. So I sit there and I wait, just in case. I want to say my longest wait, I waited about 3, maybe 4 minutes. Yes, that's a long time. I went to go get myself a drink, so I left it up, and I said, if I die, I die. I don't care. I was getting annoyed at this point. But I'm sitting there waiting, and nothing happens. The moment, and I legitimately mean the moment I hit X, the alien spawns in and kills me. And I don't know why. I don't know if I did something, but that happened a lot in this game. Of you're doing something and the alien's nowhere to be seen, but the absolute second you begin to start it is when the alien will spawn and you cannot defend yourself. That happened on more than one occasion. The game got beat, don't you worry. I did beat the game. I'm not going to sit here, like, everything I'm saying is, I'm bitching, because it happens a lot in this game. At least it happened to me a lot in this game. And this right here is going to kind of affect, not massively, but it's going to kind of affect the overall scoring of said game, where if I'm trying to do something, alien's not in sight, the moment that I hit something, because like there's a generator, like I said, you hit the generator, you just go mash. I'm sitting there watching, waiting, listening, nothing. Okay, I'm safe. As soon as I turn around, click, clunk, and the thing attacks you. That gets very annoying. And I'm going to talk more about that in a little bit, or at least my overall verdict on that in a little bit. But they got very annoying, so that's where I really started to bull rush the alien. I ran out of flamethrower fuel too many times in this area, because I died multiple times because I would do something, or I would get caught off guard by like a face hugger that got me. Or one of the times I did it, you shoot because you have sometimes the alien comes at you, you can shoot it with the flamethrower and it'll charge past you 3 times. And at the final like hour and a half of the game, I would hit it with the flamethrower, it would charge at me, and it would still kill me. I don't know why. It didn't happen often that happened. Like I said, 3 times of the entire gameplay of this actually happening, that did indeed happen to me. Other times he'd charge on past me and nothing would happen, so I don't know why. But there's also a chapter where I learned the adaptive AI doesn't actually adapt like I thought it did. So I knew the alien essentially stepped out of the way of the fire. If the fire was there, oh no, it steps out of it if you shoot it too much. The alien does not step out of the fire. He just becomes impervious to the fire, which I guess that's fine. The AI doesn't run. That's fine. But I wish they said that it'll step out of the fire to avoid. I wish it would be like it avoids the fire. Not, oh no, it gets hit by the fire. Man, I'm not going to care. Because it got to the point at the end of the game where I'd have to click. Oh, he's still there. Click. Oh, he's still there. Click. Oh, he's still there. Click. Whee! And runs off. And he's just standing there. There was one time I really tested it out, and I got him into a corner. And a corner is like a loose term, but I got him into like a big area of the room where he could not back up. Yes, I'm one of those people. I look death in the face and I say, fuck you, and I will test stuff out. And that's exactly what I did. So I got him back to the corner. I'm just, and he's in this corner, and he just kind of like winces. Like he technically does turn away, but he cannot turn and go anywhere. So that's a small complaint I have. Where if he backs up, that's fine. But if the alien is indeed hit with fire, then he should run. Not, click, 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 click. Oh, then he runs. It could be a me thing. And I could have, and maybe I just didn't notice it right, but I got him into a corner, backed up against the wall, and he could not back up anymore. And that's what I saw, is he just ate the fire and walked it off. I should have been throwing Molotovs, because I didn't use Molotovs too often on the alien. I use them on the big groups of humans. And Molotovs have a really, really, really weird radius. Because there was one time early on in the game, I threw it whenever I first got a Molotov. Oh, I need to pay my internet bill. That's right. Whenever I got a Molotov and I threw it, I hit people below, and somehow I got hit in the splashback. Don't know why. Not going to question why. I really should, but I'm not going to. So, this chapter, you make your way off. Like I said, you get all connected. Fight with the alien one more time. Make your way to a getting ready to skedaddle. And then chapter 18. Tomorrow, together. Chapter 18 is just making your way onto the Torrens. As you're about to make your way to the Torrens, like as you're actually at like the spacewalk area, putting on the suit, Ripley's sitting there looking at the helmet for maybe 10 seconds, and just happens to look up, and there's an alien, knocks her way down super far, and she gets grabbed and put into the wall, the nasty stuff. She almost gets assimilated. She wakes up, breaks out, and then you start making your way out with flamethrower in hand. I was pissed off at this point, so I went in. You're ready to kill facehuggers, because like I said, facehuggers start spawning in. I want to say there's maybe 10 or 12 you're actually running through the whole game, maybe. And as you're walking through all this, you come across 2 aliens. One runs off. Make your way up. Make your way back to where you're supposed to be, and make your way outside, ready to blow off part of the station, so you can make your way to the Torrens. We have 4 aliens, multiple aliens, kind of just staring you down. This is a cool little scene right here. Then chapter 19. Chapter 19, you make your way to the Torrens. After everything has happened, you finally made your way onto the Torrens. Everything's happy. You're trying to get in contact with the Verlaine. Samuel's gone. Taylor's dead. There's nobody left. And then no contact from Verlaine in any capacity. Like, hey, Verlaine! 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 Multiple times over. As you make your way to the cockpit, a xenomorph opens the door, or you open the door and xenomorph is there. and which kind of annoys me. Because how did Alien get on the space station? Because you were literally just talking to Verlaine like a few minutes prior. I guess in game it could be maybe 30, 40 minutes prior, but at least it didn't seem like super far long ago you had just been talking to her. So she just kind of went off the map immediately. So, space station. My dog is walking out in space right now. It's cold, wet, and rainy, and he's just walking out in the middle of space. Remember, I'm on a space station right now. But anyway, you get face to face with the alien. You go to an airlock. You hit an airlock button. Both of you get jettisoned into space. Credits roll, and Amanda is found. You see Amanda in space. She's sitting there in space, floating, seemingly dead. Lights hit her face, and that is where the game ends. And that's where the credits roll. And that is Alien Isolation. And its story looks, that's a little haphazard, just because the game itself does not have a whole lot of actual story. It has story beats to it, because the whole main thing of the station is you figure out Marlowe brought it on because he wanted to take the Nostromo flight recorder and sell it for money. Ripley is just trying to find her mother, all that stuff. Theoretically, they could do Alien Isolation 2. I kind of hope they do. As far as I know, there's no sign or anything of an Alien Isolation 2. Let me see if there's Alien Isolation 2 stuff. I'm looking it up right now. Nope, there's so far right now nothing has been said on Alien Isolation. So maybe there's not going to be an Alien Isolation 2. But that right there is Alien Isolation and kind of its entire story. Like I should have been able to do this a little bit better. Like I said, Danger was supposed to be here, but he's off doing his own thing. He's probably on the other side of the ship playing Fortnite, Space Fortnite, who knows. He's playing Honkai Star Rails in Fortnite. Maybe Genshin too. I don't know. He's doing something. But since I don't have him here to kind of talk with, I'm going to kind of go into my overall, I guess, true review of the game. So Alien Isolation is a very good, fun game. Do not get me wrong. For a horror game, it's very good. It's built very good. You're always on the edge of your seats for a long time. Until you're not. And I said earlier on, the game gets very repetitive and tedious. This game and also said coincidence, this game relies too much on mere coincidences happening. And I know sometimes that does happen in games and media and stuff, but that's not like, as to what I'm thinking of right now, I cannot think of a game where every inconvenience that happens, and minor inconveniences too, we're going to talk about that actually here in a second, but any inconvenience that happens coincidentally. Like I made mention of the door. You go to open a door generator that I literally just looked at a minute prior needs to be powered on because everything powers off. That's a coincidence. This game has a whole lot of stuff as soon as you get there, gotta go do this in order to do this thing that worked 3 seconds prior. I think there may have been an elevator that even did that. Oh no, elevator! Ah, shucks! That man just took the elevator and left and it breaks! Ah, man. This game relies so heavily on that come the end of it, I was starting to get annoyed because I could tell that generator. Look at generator. Well, I know what I'm going to have to do. I'm going to walk away from this generator, and then I'm going to have to walk back to said generator. And this whole game, you really go play through it again, has just so many coincidences that push it along. Like, oh no, I can't get to where I need to be because this door just closed in the way and I don't have a code. It's not code. If there's a code, you can always go find the code. I'm just using this as an example. But I need to go find the code. Oh no. Or it just shut down even though these people just walked through it. How coincidental. Now I have to walk all the way around to make this long game even longer. And it's not a long game. I think it's like 15 to 20 hours is beat time. I could be wrong on that, but like I think at 17, 15, I think I said 16 is what I just said round to, median, but 16 hours. But a lot of it probably you could shave off 4 hours of game by cutting out some of those coincidences. I'm not entirely sure why they did stuff like that. It powered off as soon as you're there. Shucks. Or oh no, this one man who's supposed to point you to where you need to be gets killed right as you're about to enter the room. Shucks. Door breaks. Shucks. It's all this stuff just kind of gets really bothersome and annoying. It's done, if it was done like a few times here and there, because I understand some thriller games, some horror games have it, and convenience pushes the plot along. Like, oh no! I can't, like, it just happened. I'm trying to think of, like, Alan Wake has stuff like that happens once or twice. I need to get here. Oh no, as soon as you get there, bridge falls out or something like that. Oh no, I need to get around this. How do I get around this? But it's not every waking moment, because I feel like once or twice every chapter, this game had a coincidence that halted your progress. And after like the fourth or fifth one, it gets really annoying, because, man, what inconvenience is going to be here that I cannot progress? And that kind of sucks. This game is not, I'm going to tell you this right now, it's not a 10 out of 10 game. But it could have been. Like, I won't say, like, legitimately, this game could have been a 10 out of 10 game in my books if they would have taken away less of the coincidence. Like, at the end of the game, I'll keep going back to this generator, because that's the one that really sticks in my head the most, because this is the one where I was just the most annoyed at of this. Or actually, I guess another one, end of the game, is as you're about to make your way off the station, an alien pops down, scares you, makes you fall down, and you get shoved into part of its hive. Another coincidence right there. Or earlier on in the game, you got to go to get a key card in order to get the trauma pack. Well, where's the trauma pack? Well, it's with Dr. Lingard. Where's Dr. Lingard? I don't know. So you go try and find her. Space station. Oh no! Conveniently, she's dead. Whoop-de-woo. Where could she be? She could be in one of these rooms. Oh, she's not in one of these rooms. Well, no, she's supposed to be over in that one over there. Little note. Oh, okay. Coincidentally, she's not where it needs to be. Just adding more suspense. This game has a lot. This game adds those moments, I think, to just add more tension and suspense to it. But after a while, it just starts to really take away from the aesthetic of the game, because how it takes away the realism and the immersion. Because how frequently are you going to go somewhere, and as soon as you need to get there, yeah, shucks, inconvenience. How often is that going to happen? And then inconveniences are another thing. So I understand games have boundaries with some things. They want the game to last longer. But, and I want to say like chapter 13, 14, wherever you're in the mall, I noticed it. I really noticed it, and I started picking up more on subtle like things like this earlier. I even messaged Danger, hey, the Alien Isolation's the king, or I guess queen, because you play as a female protagonist. But it's like the queen of coincidences and just minor inconveniences. Because there's a piece of metal that falls into a fire in front of you. Fire on the left, fire on the right, but no fire in the middle. Sure, it could be hot, but it's maybe knee-high, maybe waist-high, and you're telling me Ripley, who needs to literally get to door right across from it, you can see the door literally 100 foot from where you're looking at, cannot jump over it, cannot hop over it, cannot run over it, can't do anything like that. This game just has a lot of stuff like that. And glass, I'm sure, I'm also going to say this here, because I don't think it's all bulletproof glass. And it could be just safety quiet-wise, but this door's locked on the other side. Well, how do I get into it? Well, there's a key card 500 meters back, but couldn't I just break it? Nah. And she's an engineer. She can hack into stuff. Like, she's an engineer, but you never really get to see her use any of her engineering qualities in this whole game. That kind of limits some of that right there, because I'm thinking of Isaac Clarke in Dead Space. Isaac Clarke in the first game is an engineer. You don't really see a whole lot of his brain power too much. You see it, but it doesn't always show a ton of it. But it still shows you that yes, he's smart. This one says she's an engineer, but she doesn't really do a whole lot that makes her engineer worthy. She has an access tuner that does a lot of stuff for her, not her doing puzzles. Had she been doing the puzzles herself, that would have been fine, but she's using access tuner for the locks and stuff like that. Maybe at the end of the game she just talks smart, but she never actually puts money where her mouth is. And that kind of just really sucks, because I'm thinking of like Dead Space 2, another comparison, is Isaac will start using all of his engineering stuff. He hacks doors and uses his brain power. Ripley could have done that in this one. So it just says she's an engineer, so she's an engineer by word, not by action. Just my personal thoughts on it. And it kind of just inconveniences. She's supposed to be a smart character. Walk around the fire. But I can't. The fire's hot. Run through the fire. I am an idiot. I've ran through fire before unscathed. My shoes weren't unscathed. I popped some Nike Air Max somewhere downstairs. I still have them. But just run through the fire. Make it quick. You're fine. Just jump over this hurdle. Climb. Hell, I don't care. This game's just very much the inconveniences and coincidences that push it along and really, in my opinion, take away aspects of what made this game great. So too much suspense killed this game, in my opinion. Killed is a strong word and the wrong word, but too much suspense kind of ruined the experience for me. Outside of that, the game does not have a whole lot wrong with it. Story is fine. It's an alien game. Make your way off the space station while getting hunted by an alien. That's fine. Also had DLC. I wanted to talk about the DLC, but I could not get access to the DLC. I'm not entirely sure why I can't get access to it on the PlayStation 5. Maybe I can't get to it anymore. Who knows? But characters are fine. Characters will be... Only issue I really had was characters like Taylor. Well, Taylor didn't get enough of anything to kind of know what she really was like. Samuels is an endearing, caring synthetic. He died to try and save Ripley. Ripley just kind of tries to survive. She's somehow meek, and yet she's not. She's smart, yet she doesn't ever use her smarts. Waits. I'll remember Waits long before I do anything with Ripley, because Waits betrayed us. Marlowe was a dick. I'm not going to remember much about Marlowe, except he brought the alien on board. The game just does not have... I guess character-wise, as a cast of characters is another kind of weakness to it, is the characters are not memorable characters. I'll remember the names, but I'm not. But say probably, I can't even gripe because I'll remember stupid names like Regina from Dino Crisis, or what's her name, Laura from Silent Hill 2. Just names, small stupid names here and there. Nightingale. I mean, he was a big villain in 2. But all these names are just small little names. I may remember the name, but I can't tell you much more than that. And that kind of sucks, because I like leaving games remembering aspects of the game, which I'm actually about to be talking about the good part of this game. But I want to remember characters of the game, what they did. Or what am I going to remember Ripley for doing? Fuck, I don't know. She fought the alien. That's it. She survived the alien. That's kind of it. And I know that's the whole shtick of the game. But Samuels died. I'll remember Samuels for that. Taylor got blown up by a thing. By a space core. After knocking out Marlowe. That's fine. Ricardo was saved us by not letting the alien... By opening up a thing so we could get out, allowing the alien to escape. He got eaten by a facehugger. Ripley... just kind of did stuff. She opened doors, really. I'm gonna remember her, don't you worry. I'm gonna remember Ripley for some of the things she does, like her walking in with the alien there. I'll remember that. I'm gonna remember some scenes here and there. The bolt gun was fun. Her blowing up the space station was fun. That's another... When she blew up the station, that was kind of a point that showed that yes, she is smart. I'm not saying she's an idiot character, but it's one of those ones. It's a really genius character that really does not use the genius character aspects, and that always irks me in video games. But we're going to go away from the negatives for the positives of this game. And positives of this game, one I talked earlier, are the game holds up. It looks phenomenal. And I'm not really one who cares much for graphics, and I'll talk graphics, like I talked it in Plague Tale. Plague Tale kind of hinders some of it because the people look wonky, and so that may affect how some people look at it. But it's still a good game. Same with Isolation. Isolation looks great. The characters look great. World. Sevastopol looks really good. For still being a 10-year-old game, it's expansive enough that you always feel like you're in a new open area every time you go anywhere without completely retracing your steps. And it's seeming like just like a redo, which is really cool. The AI, the alien AI, I loved. Like, I'm not even kidding. I love the alien AI so much. But I said earlier on, I changed this game like about an hour whenever the alien first popped in. I changed it to hard mode, and I played it from the entire hard mode from on. And, I loved the adaptive AI of the alien because the Xenomorph and I were constantly at odds, and it was almost a checkmate or stalemate 50% like all the time. Like, I could barely progress past it, and it could not kill me. There were sometimes I would slip up and it would not get to me, or there are times it would slip up and I would get past it. And I loved that. I hated it whenever I was playing it because it was literally a mind game, which is why Nightmare Mode I don't want to even fucking touch, because that means the alien will kick my ass in Nightmare Mode unless I go through all this again. But the alien itself, the 2 AI made it really fun. The adaptive AI was really great. And that was great. The survival aspects were fun. Going around picking up items, crafting tools, Molotovs, EMP mines, which I used a hell of a lot more than I thought. Like I said, Molotovs. Flashbangs. I used flashbangs once or twice. Pipe bomb. I crafted pipe bombs. I never used them. I can see, like, it's a situation of it can be used, but but that draws a lot of attention to you. That's only if you really take a super violent route. So it was unnecessary. And we know how I feel about unnecessary things in games. So that's right there, I guess, a dock, but not even too much, because, you don't have to craft it. You don't have to craft it, but it's like the Spider-Man stuff. You don't have to use it. Though Spider-Man makes you get some of the power-ups. Like, you have to get the power-ups added to your stuff, even if you never use them. Pipe Bomb, you can pick up the blueprint, but then never use it. So I guess that's a difference. I guess that's different, but also same at the exact same time. Anyway, semantics. So, Alien was fun. Being at odds with that thing, with the Alien, was really fun. But my biggest complaint on, like I guess I already said, is the coincidence. This game relies too much on, well, this thing you think is this happening at the absolute wrong moment is what happens right now? Shucks. That happens way too much. And because of that, the game lost a lot of its luster. Whenever I really started to pick up on it, it became absolutely clear in like chapter 14, 15, whatever it was, with the stupid door and generator. But it's really earlier on, I even mentioned, like I said, I made mention to Danger about, hey, this game relies a lot on coincidences and mere inconveniences to progress the story, which sucks. I hate games that do something to this degree. If it's one or two here or there, fine. That adds suspense. That's great. But when the whole game has that as its suspense building, it sucks because, oh no, this door is broken. However, will I get it open? Not, oh no, this door is open. This door is broken. How will I get it open? And it irks me so much because I've heard so much good things about this game, and I'm not even going to sit here and say it's a terrible game. It's a great game. Realistically, it's a really good horror game. It's a great horror stealth game. But you look at it from outwardly, if you tell people, how does the gameplay work? Well, you just wait for something to happen. You gotta hide your way through, which is fine. But coincidence pushes a lot of the gameplay aspect forwards. And yes, I know, like I said, I'll probably get bitched at for saying that, but that's really how this game works. Is coincidence pushes this game forward way too much, and it sucks. And I wish it didn't, because I wanted to give this game going into. I went into it immediately thinking, because I'll spoil this right now. Whenever I look at a game, and what I've seen about said game, I always give it an initial rating in my head. I went into thinking I was going to give Alien Isolation an 8 when I first started playing it. Like, this is an 8. There's got to be an 8. It's a great horror game. It's still talked about to this day. It has the adaptive AI of the Alien, which is going to be fun to fuck around with and just absolutely lose to over and over and over. But playing it, the AI was fun. Not gonna lie about that. The AI was dandy. The AI was great. I had fun with it. The humans were fun. Easy to work your way around. Stealth aspects were fun in this game. It was not egregiously hard. But at the same time, it really wasn't scary. I want to say, when was the last big jump scare I actually had? I want to say the biggest jump scare I really had in the game was, there is a room in like chapter 6 or 7, whenever you're getting ready to shut off, maybe not 10, maybe let's say 10. It's one of those chapters, it's whatever chapter it is you want to close off the alien before you can go into the airlock. You open a door, and as soon as you walk in, boom, the room explodes. That probably was the biggest jump scare I had, was the last big jump scare I had. Then anything after that was, oh no. And then right at the end, whenever you make it onto the space station, Verlaine's not answering, you open the door and boom, the alien's there. I wasn't an thing, but it was like a oh no kind of thing, because I wasn't expecting that. I'd hoped we made it off in time and safely. But this game just relies too much on coincidence, and because of that, I have to dock it. Story's fine. Is it the most memorable story? Not really. I can't say it's. I can't bitch about story parts because I like story games, but it's not the most memorable story. And I've played stupider games out there with arguably worse stories on there, and I'll even say it like this: like the first Silent Hill is probably on par with this one. And I love Silent Hill. Don't get me wrong. I love the first Silent Hill. It's one of my now favorite, probably top 50 games. But story-wise, it's on par with Silent Hill. And Dangerous guys are gonna hate that or love it. I don't know. But yeah, it just sucks. Alien Isolation was kind of a letdown for me because I've heard so many good things about it and I can see the good in it, but it gets encompassed by the negative aspects of it. Everything good that's in there was met and then beaten by something worse. And that just sucks so damn much. I've had this on my list for a while. I want to say I've had it on my PlayStation for like 4 or 5 years, and now just finally beat it. And I don't think I'm ever going to touch this game again, honestly. Unless they release an Alien Isolation 2, Alien Isolation is going to sit in limbo for the rest of eternity on my PlayStation roster. And that sucks, because I didn't want it to be like that. I wanted this to be a game that I'd play more than once in my life. Because we have some games on here. Hell, Spider-Man. I'm going to play Spider-Man again before I play Alien Isolation. Alien Isolation is going to get a higher rating than Spider-Man. But I want to play Spider-Man again before I play Alien Isolation again, because story-wise, cool. Character-wise, much more memorable. And Alien Isolation just does not bring that to the table. Its biggest aspects are it's a horror game, and that's all it really is it relies on scare factor. And games that just rely on scare factor do not make good games all the time. You have some that really do. Five Nights at Freddy's, because the movie just released, so use that one as an example, because that game really relies on scare factor 90% of the time. Yeah, 95% of the time. It's majority percent of the time, like predominantly percent of the time. Alien Isolation just kind of loses the luster, and maybe that is just me. Someone out there, if you think I'm wrong, say I'm wrong. Please tell me I'm wrong. Tell me why I'm wrong. And I'm not even trying to be like an asshole. Tell me why I'm wrong. Tell me why I'm wrong. Maybe I didn't see. Maybe playing through it, I missed some big thing I was supposed to see as I was playing through it, but it just felt tedious and monotonous, and that really sucks. Because I wanted to enjoy this game. I went in hoping to enjoy this game, and I really didn't. But overall review for the game, I'm going to give it a 6.5. Like, that's the lowest I can give it without it failing. But it's the highest I'm going to give it. Because I wanted it to succeed, and it just didn't. It's definitely a good horror game. It's definitely 100% a good horror game. No doubt about that. But I can absolutely see where people are going to get annoyed by the tedium of back and forth. Or the, oh no, this door closes, I need to walk through it. Stuff like that. People are going to enjoy the AI. They're going to enjoy some of the characters. Ricardo, I liked Ricardo. I'll remember Ripley. I'll remember Samuels. I may remember Taylor. I forgot her name earlier on. Verlaine's another character we saw her like 10 lines from, so I guess she's going to be forgettable. Waits, Marlowe. All these characters going to be gone. Come probably 3 or 4 games from now, I'll remember Ripley. Maybe, and probably Samuels. And I just hate that this game, unfortunately... Is that mold in my window? I just hate that this game, with all the greatness that I've heard from it, just kind of fell flat. So I'll give this game a 6.5. Not because I want to, but I feel like I have to. Just because it has too many negatives to it. I say too many. Too many negatives would be putting it lower, but it has enough negatives to it that I don't want it to either pass or fail. It's like right in the middle. If you like horror games, absolutely play this game. If you want to just get jump scared and have the fear of dread always over your shoulder, absolutely play this game. But if you want to play this game as like a enjoyment horror, I don't think this is it, just because of the coincidences of it. It's like Resident Evil kind of coincidence. No, Resident Evil does it better. It's more of that kind of tedium, at least gameplay wise. But that's all I can really say for Resident Evil. Don't know where Danger is. He was supposed to be here. He was supposed to defend this game. Because anytime I say there's a negative aspect of a game, unless it's a game that I pick, Silent Hill, and he's like, no, you don't understand. So he was supposed to sit here and defend this game. So I guess for the first time ever in games and gamers history, even though we're not even a year old yet, for the first time ever, my verdict is the only one that matters. So 6.5 on Alien. You know, I'll say Danger will probably give it a 7, so let's say 6.75 overall, because I think that's exactly how he'd rate it. He would give it a 7 or a 6. But I see him giving it a 7 because he likes horror games, and he could see all the fun with it, and he wouldn't have been... He probably would have struggled, but not as been annoyed as I am. I was. Yeah, I am. 50-50. Was him? Am is? Was him. As I was him. But we have another one for our next one, and this is going to be a different one because, like I said earlier on, I'm not going to be reviewing this game. We're reviewing this game, but I'm not going to suggest this game. We got our first ever listener reviewer. Someone from my work, Manny, asked us to play the game Sea of Stars. And so Danger and I sat down and looked in both of our flip books and like, yeah, I can fit into our schedule of gaming, and we both have access to the game. So our next game will be our first ever listener suggested game, Sea of Stars. And I don't know anything about Sea of Stars to give a fun little synopsis, like brief synopsis to try and get you going, except there's a sea and there's probably stars in it. Maybe. I know it has a good OST. So, yeah, I got nothing left. This will come out day before Halloween, so I hope everybody has a good Halloween. Come stop on by my channel, because Danger's not here. I'm not going to plug him. Sorry, Danger. But I'll have him down below. But go check out my channel. Alan Wake is going to be on there. I'm probably going to have like another episode or two. I've been streaming it. I want to stream this game to try and get a beat as fast as possible and not have to record and upload like I'll be doing with Sea of Stars. But Alan Wake, I'll have a few more hours on there, probably 5 or 6 hours on there. You can go watch the first Alan Wake. What other Halloween? I'll be playing Back for Blood with my buddy Brian tomorrow, actually, on my channel, KHL. They'll stop on by for that. But I got nothing left, so it's time to turn your consoles into rest mode. Turn off those TVs, open up a book, or go watch Dragon Ball Z. I don't know. Do one of those things. Maybe go watch, what's his name? The Outdoor Guys? The Outdoor Boy? Outdoor Guy? Outdoor Man? It's the guy who lives in Alaska who's, I just randomly see pop up my TikTok, and I've started to kind of watch stuff. I want to say the Outdoor Guys. Go watch him. If you don't want to go out into nature, because don't worry, I don't either, go watch him enjoy nature so you don't have to. Yeah. Bye, everybody.